Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach and Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development, taking a look at the Saturday card at Churchill Downs, which is headlined by the Grade 3 Commonwealth Turf, one of the few opportunities left for 3-year-olds to run against themselves. And so this is only 3-year-olds going a mile on a 16th on a grass course that probably will still have a little give to it. Full field in here with a couple of also eligibles, so really nice betting race. Jim, where did you land?
Yeah, I didn't have a strong opinion on it here. I'm going to go 4 deep in the pick 4. I'm not going to go any deeper than that because I can't find a single. But Spectacular Jim was probably the horse that I'm going to land on for a win pick here. Coming off a really nice win in the Jefferson Cup, went wire to wire and pulled away at the end with Jimmy Graham, and he takes it back. And before that, the horse won a $200,000 stakes at Indiana with Declan Cannon aboard, and the horse has just gotten better. And typically, 3-year-old in the latter part of the season sometimes matures, and this horse has gotten much better on a 2-race win streak. This one's a step up to a Grade 3, but I think he might be up to the task, and if he improves a little bit more, he's going to fit right there with the more experienced horses in here. Louder Than Bombs would be my pick if he wasn't stuck on the 12-hole. He went to the lead last time out in the allowance race on a good Keeneland turf course, and held on a couple of really nice horses that came at him in the stretch. I'm not sure he can get to the lead from out there, and that was an aberration. He didn't get to the lead in his other races, so I don't know if he's changing tactics. It's going to be hard to get there from the 12-hole, though. Next Go is an unknown, first time on the turf. The horse obviously has been successful, won the Breeders' Futurity Grade 1 as a 2-year-old. Hasn't panned out as a 3-year-old like they want. Came close in the Ellis Park Derby. Took him to the Super Derby, and he ran 4th. Now they're going to try something new on the turf, and I'm going to throw him in there because of back class. And I'm also going to use Armistice Day for Corey Lannery. This horse ran in the Ontario Derby at Woodbine on the Poly last time out. Best buyer figure of his career, and ran 2nd in a Grade 3. So if he transfers that form over to the turf, I think he's going to be formidable as well. So that's my 4 that I picked. You could go a little bit deeper here, so I'm sure that you're going to take a horse that I haven't mentioned.
No, I'm actually going to take one that you mentioned, Jim, Armistice Day. And I'm like you, I don't have a strong opinion, so I was looking for something that might be a little bit of a price. This one's 6-1 on the morning line. Barb Minshall's probably not going to take a lot of money. Corey Lannery might, so I'm hoping I can get 6 to 8-1. I like the improvement in the buyer figure last time up to a 91, albeit on synthetic, but the horse has won on turf before and won on good turf. So as I said, I think there might be a little give to the ground with the rain we had earlier in the week. You get Corey Lannery picking up the mount. That's always noteworthy at Churchill. And this horse ran an improved race last time, followed it up with a bullet work. So I'm going to take Armistice Day for the win here. Marquis Prince intrigued me a little bit. Second off a layoff. They had this horse in some stakes in the spring for Brad Cox, and had a nice win off the layoff, and now makes the second start. So that one intrigues me a little bit. Nick's Go, I've got the same thought you do, just on back class, and I think the horse is worth a look. Really, didn't improve as a 3-year-old, but has been okay. He's been run some decent races, so if he would improve on the turf, could certainly be right there. And he's got some speed, which could be helpful as well. And then I'm going to use 3 horses coming out of the same race. Couldn't really separate them a lot. Spectacular Jim, Track Smith, and Faraway Kitten. So I'm going to go 6 deep when we get to our pick 4, but Armistice Day is my win pick. And actually, I wrote down 2 other horses, Louder Than Bombs and Osage Moon. So the 12 and the 2s, that tells you, how wide open I think this is. But I'm going to go to the 6, stick with the 6 horses when we get to the pick 4. So the pick 4 starts in the 8th race. I'll give you my pick 4 ticket, and then we'll get yours. Starts with 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs. Further Lane is 7-5 on the morning line, and had some trouble in a decent debut race at Keeneland. So you could certainly single that horse, but I don't think it's a cinch. And there's a couple of first-time starters I'm going to throw in there. Spidey Sherrill for Dallas Stewart. Not a big first-time out barn, but can hit once in a while, and usually it's at a price. And then Halama for the Walsh barn I'm going to use as well. A couple of first-time starters. One other one that I thought might be worth a look as probably a big price is Diamond and Silks, the 7, because that one had in the debut race had trouble at the start for the Shearer barn. But I'm going to stick with those 3 in the first leg. Second leg, I'm going 4 deep. Art Collector has good turf figures and is bred to like the dirt just fine. Shanghai Moon was on the inside at Keeneland that opening weekend. Wasn't the place to be. The previous race was a 71 buyer, which would stack up well here. Lycan had a really nice win at Keeneland. I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to throw in the 5 Self-Taught, just on the angle of moving into the Al Stall barn for the first time. And 10th race, I'm going to take 6 horses. Last race, I'm going to hold it to 2 just to keep the ticket affordable. New York Style. Diodoro claimed this horse out of a race at Keeneland and then put 2 works into him. And it looked like Diodoro was just getting rid of some stock in some races at Keeneland. So if you saw his horses dropping down from earlier spots, that looked like he was just trying to have a little bit of a closeout sale there. But then late in the meet, when you saw horses that he claimed out of the Keeneland meet, they fired. And this horse was claimed out of the Keeneland meet, so I think he could have a big shot in here. And the 3 NOLA win I'm going to use as well. So 6, 8, 9 with 2, 3, 5, 6 with 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 13 with 3, 8 for $72. How about you?
Mine's structured a little bit different, but we got a lot of the same horses. In the 8th race, the maiden special, I liked Further Lane as well for Brad Cox. Got beat by 3 lengths and enough trouble that probably could have put her over the top. So she's going to come back second start. He's 21%. So Further Lane is my strong pick in the first race, but I'm not going to single because you got some first-time starters. I used one of the starters that you mentioned, Halama, for Brandon Walsh, but I also used Fashion Frame. Ignacio Correas is 15% first-time starter. This horse has had like 12, 14 works on the page. So she's taking his time with her, recorded some works back in August at Arlington, and she should be ready to hit the starting gate. And Alvarado takes her. He's not riding great right now, but he did get a couple wins last week at Churchill. So I'm going to use Fashion Frame, Further Lane, and Halama. So 5, 8, 9, where you're going 6, 8, 9. Then in the 9th race, I've got 3, 6, 9. My top pick would be Art Collector. I'm like you. I think the horse can hold that form on the dirt and should be fine. Lycan, the other horse that you mentioned off that really easy win at Keeneland by 4 lengths. And I'll use Mr. Tip, the 9 horse for Jack Sisterson, strictly on the Arlington to Kentucky angle. This horse won by 3.5 on the poly, and you saw a lot of horses win at Keeneland coming off that poly track, and Sophie Doyle takes them out. Mr. Tip, I think, is live here on the outside. So I'm going to use 3, 6, 9. In the Commonwealth, the 4 horses that I talked about, 6, 9, 10, 12. And then in the last leg, I'm going to go 1, 5, 8 with Not Fade Away for Giroux, who's coming back off his injury for the first time on Saturday. Nola Win, the 5. And my top pick is New York Style, the 8 for Diodoro. Same reasons that you mentioned off the Keeneland races and off the Keeneland race, and first time off the claim for Diodoro is 27%. So my ticket is 5, 8, 9 with 3, 6, 9 with 6, 9, 10, 12 with 1, 5, 8, and that's $54.
Yes, and I should note that I need to make a correction on mine. I think I had Nola Win as the 3, obviously, as you mentioned, is the 5. So my ticket ends with the 5, 8 instead of the 3, 8, using Nola Win and New York Style. Best of luck on what is a challenging late pick 4 sequence at Churchill on Saturday, including that full field for the Grade 3 Commonwealth Turf. Best of luck, and we'll be back next week for another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.